Hey guys, and welcome to Tech and More Tech. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Oculus Go VR headset. This is the newest virtual reality headset on the market, and its main feature is that it's completely standalone. It doesn't need to plug into a computer, you don't need to put a phone into a slot to use it, it just works. Before we get started, if you want to read the full review, it'll be at techandmoretech.com, link in the description below. But let's jump into the unboxing. It comes in a nice Apple-esque box, top slides right off. Immediately we're presented by the headset, which is nice sort of solid gray plastic, looks nice. Behind it we have our main interfacing tool. It's kind of like a little remote, has a trigger on the back, a clickable touchpad up top, and a back and home button. In this little box we've got some goodies, mainly wall charger, an eye spacer, so this is if you wear glasses, that's pretty nice. In here we've got our standard micro USB cable, some warranty information, and a microfiber cloth to clean the lenses. Also a battery to charge the little remote, and a little wrist strap lanyard thing so you don't fling stuff across the room. At the top of the headset, you've got a power button and volume controls. On the side, you've got a micro USB port for charging the device and also a 3.5mm headphone jack. It has Velcro straps on the side and top to adjust your fit on your head. They're quite comfortable, but it's kind of awkward to do it when it's already on your head. In order to get it up and running, you download the Oculus app on your phone. Then you go through a few different steps of setting up the device with your Wi-Fi, you make an Oculus account, or you can set up with your Facebook account since Facebook owns Oculus. It takes about 5 minutes and it's really straightforward. But now that you've got it set up, what do you do with it? On the box, Oculus states there's already 1,000 apps in the App Store. Though, from my findings, most of these are more demos than they are really full-fledged games or applications. However, there are several that are always prominent on the front page, and they're really good. They're fun games, they're immersive, they're really cool apps too. But I found that once the wow factor wears off, especially if you've never used VR before, there's little incentive or little appeal to kind of come back and keep playing these games over and over again on a sort of daily basis. All the apps are really approachable though, and that's great because the Oculus Go turns out to be a great headset to show off to friends and family that may have never experienced VR before. I can't be too hard on the app selection though. We're still in the very infancy of VR. No one has quite figured it out yet, but I suspect as the market matures, we're going to see more and more apps that are properly immersive and that are more fun and replayable beyond the first few times of the wow factor. I understand that these apps also exist on other platforms like the Galaxy Gear, and I definitely understand that the developers put a tremendous amount of time and effort into making these apps, and it shows. But I think at this early stage of VR is where Oculus and others need to subsidize these apps so that they only cost like $1 or $2, and that way everyone can try all the different apps in the App Store. In this current state, it's kind of a hard sell for a $5 or $10 game, and even though it's not a lot of money, it does add up if you want to try a bunch of them. Now, I know Oculus does have a return policy, so if it does make you nauseous or you just don't like it, you can always kind of get your money back. Now, I know this sounds very entitled, but at the same time, I really think this would help get early adopters to get more excited about their VR and try a whole variety of different apps regardless of their cost. And honestly, it wouldn't really cost Facebook or Oculus almost anything in the grand scheme of things. As far as the Oculus Go itself, I think this is a great step forward in the world of VR. At just $199 for a standalone VR headset, it's cheaper than anything else in the market. The internals are good, but not great. It's powered by a Snapdragon 821 processor, and the screen has a resolution of 2560 by 1440. It was perfectly fine when you're playing a game or an app. The refresh rate was fine, the colors were great. But I did find that the text was a little bit fuzzy when you're reading or just navigating through a menu. The rest of the hardware is really good though. The enclosure feels really solid, it's not too heavy, and it's really comfortable on your head. Though after a little while you might get red marks around your cheeks after you take it off. There is also to note, there's a little bit of light that seeps through at the bottom where your nose goes, but once you're in a game, you really don't notice it. It does get a bit uncomfortable on your cheeks after a while, but the battery life is about 2 to 2.5 hours. So you're not going to keep it on there all day anyways, so ultimately I would say it's a very comfortable headset. And that brings us to the golden question. Should you buy this? It starts at $199 for the 32 gig and $249 for the 64 gig option, which is basically the most affordable headset you can get, especially standalone. It's a big catch-22 problem. There aren't a lot of apps for VR because not a lot of people have VR headsets. Not a lot of people have VR headsets because there's not a lot of apps for it and a lot of reason to buy one. I would say the headset's definitely worth the $200, but you have to be an early adopter of tech, and you do have to realize that it will take a while for the ecosystem to fully develop. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I will get to them as best I can. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. A lot more content coming soon.